Okay, so here's the final update on the cob hen coop, which is now sporting a living roof. And it is living, it's already living. There's grass growing already, but that's the way it is around here. The grass never stops growing. So, if you want details on how I made this, if you look down, I've put a link. I've made a nice succinct post on themudhome.com, which with 15 photos I think in there, and step by step exactly how I made it, so you can have a go too. It's easy, it's not difficult. It's a brilliant way, as I said before, to make a little mini model version of a cob house. And the living roof, now I think living roofs are really easy. Other people think they're difficult. I guess this is personal. As soon as there's earth involved, I'm a happy bunny. The most difficult part for me about living roofs is making this, the rim. Now, if you go see the previous video, part 1 version of this chicken coop, you'll see it without the earthen roof, so you'll know what it looked like. And then you have to attach a rim. It needs to be like a tray so that you've got the place for the earth to sit in. And there's 2 waterproofing layers. There's a waterproof membrane, or what should I say, a roof membrane. It's a breathable roof membrane there. That does the main waterproofing job, and then there's a couple of layers of plastic that I had laying around. That's a root barrier, because otherwise the roots will drive through any roof membrane, even bitumen membrane. Roots will go through that. So the only way to stop that is unfortunately with plastic. That's the downside. Now, you need also a mesh like this at the back, or at the lower end, I should say, of the roof. The living roofs sort of don't have much of a tilt on them. You don't want it, you know, if you get it like, it's not like a tiled roof. If it's too sharp a slope, you've got an erosion issue happening, and all the earth will start sliding backwards. So you want a tiny, like a 5% gradient on it, not very much. And yeah, it's all detailed in the post exactly how I made it, so I'm not going to waffle on now, because it's much clearer on that post that I've made, which I've linked to in the description. So people were asking about cleaning. Now, this door here is actually should be the egg door, but I'm sure your chickens are the same. My hens they've decided they want to sleep in the egg part. I see why, but and then they leave the eggs everywhere else. That's hens for you. That's animals for you, full stop. They've got their own agenda. And people were asking how I clean it. Right, well, this is an interesting topic. And in the beginning I was a bit baffled. Why are people wondering that? How isn't it obvious? And then I realised something. Okay, oh dear, look. Oh, who's coming? No, you can't come out yet. It's misty day. I'll close that for a moment. They're so naughty, they're going to come out. Now, on a normal coop, or the coop I had before, it had a plastic floor. It was a wooden coop with a plastic floor, and it was disgusting. It became, within a few days, because of course they poop and pee everywhere, and so now go out, and within a few days it became really, really stinky and horrible. Whereas this is the beauty of a natural coop made of earth. It breathes. Well, the pedants will say it's not breathing, it's not a living being. Well, what I mean is it's permeable, so there's air transfer going on all the time. The floor of this is limecrete and earth. I made half and half, as is mentioned in that post that I talked about. And that means that when all the moisture is evaporating, so you don't get this rank kind of disgustingness going on. As you can see, look, it's dry. It's all dry there. So how do I clean it? Well, normally, some people will say with an earthen floor, you don't even need to clean it. You can just keep adding pine shavings in there. Pine shavings are good because they keep the mites away. But I haven't even noticed. I've noticed that I want to clean it a bit more than that. I'm a bit more picky, I suppose. So I get, not barehanded, I get some gloves and I pick out the pieces of poop.
big pieces, the gross pieces, and put them on the compost heap. And then I just add some more pine shavings and straw in there. So that's basically all it needs doing most of the time. I have cleaned it out once. I do occasionally get, every now and again, I'll give it a full clean. I've only done it once so far. And then I just get I've got a Reiki thing that I just kind of you could use anything, just to scrape everything forward and put it in a bucket. And then I put it on the compost pile over there. And that's the beauty of hens, because they make compost for you at the same time. And then in about 6 months, I'm going to put that on the trees, and the trees will be very happy. Hens are happy, I'm happy, everybody's happy. That's the great thing about a natural coop. Somebody was asking about cold. What about in a cold climate? Look, I'm not in the Yukon. I'm in a temperate zone here. So we get snow, but only for a few days. But I will say this, hens generally have more issue with the heat than the cold. They don't like the heat, and these buildings, this cob house is extremely good in the heat because it keeps it like a cave. So they've got a nice cave. Now, in a cold climate, in a freezing climate where it's sub-zero for months and months at a time, this is still going to be better than a wooden coop, which has zero insulation and zero thermal mass and zero anything. So it's going to be much warmer than that. But, if it were me and if I were in such a cold place, maybe I'd build straw bale. I mean, that would be a preferable, perhaps, option if you were in a freezing zone. Having said that, I still think this is probably going to be more comfortable for a chicken than the vast majority of coops out there. So take your pick.